If every scam Grunkle Stan pulled had a price tag, how much do you think he made just this one summer? And in the last 30 years? Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, behold, the Sass Crunch!
Whoa! Oh my gosh!
You know what's a classic tourist ripoff? A wax museum. You pay $15 to look at vaguely human-shaped candles and wonder why John Wilkes Booth looks like someone's divorced uncle. But Grunkle Stan? He took that scam to new levels of villainy. Let's talk about the time he staged a grand reopening of Gravity Falls' long-forgotten wax museum and then ran off with the loot. Seuss stumbles across a sealed room behind some Mystery Shack wallpaper and boom, turns out there's a whole wax figure exhibit just chilling in the dark. But then Stan appears and scares the children.
What do you think?
I think the Wax Museum's back in business!
I'm sure it sounds great in his head, but will the rest be as enthusiastic? He and Mabel throw together a public reopening. There's even a press conference. And what's the hook he uses to lure people in? Not the Wax Abe Lincoln, not the hauntingly accurate Wax Larry King. No, it's pizza. You can almost hear the angry Yelp reviews forming. But here's the thing. There's no pizza. No one's seen a crust. And the crowd starts to murmur. A reporter raises their hand and calls Stan out.
Your flyers promised free pizza with admission to this event. Is this true?
That's what I heard.
Come on!
Pizza.
That was a typo. Good night, everyone!
The tourists are left coughing in the smoke and clutching their empty stomachs, probably wondering if there's a Yelp option for crimes against humanity. Now, how much did he walk away with? Let's say there were maybe 20 people at that opening, each dropping what looked like at least $15 to get in. That's a quick $300 cash grab, no overhead, and no pizza expenses, because, of course, there never was any pizza. Doesn't seem like much, but let's keep in mind that Stan has been doing this for 30 years, so let's extrapolate and multiply the number by 30. But that's not all. Gravity Falls has 40 chapters, and they run through Dipper and Mabel's entire summer. Grunkle Stan is only in 6 chapters specifically trying to scam tourists, which is a solid 15% of the summer. So, in the summers when the twins have not been around, he has been able to devote 100% of his time, which is about 6 times as much. So $300 at times 30 equals $9,000, and 6 times $9,000 equals $54,000. This wasn't just a scam, it was performance art. Stan turned ghosting your customers into a literal disappearing act. It also tells you everything you need to know about the Mystery Shack's business model. Promise the mystery, deliver the minimum, take the money, and vanish. And the best part? This is just the beginning. Stan's scams only get bigger from here. If you've ever been to a small town fair and thought, wow, this is probably all safe and up to code, first of all, no it isn't. Second, meet Grunkle Stan, who doesn't just cut corners. He drives a steamroller over them and sells the pieces as souvenirs. In The Time Traveler's Pig, Stan sets up a pop-up carnival outside the shack called the Mystery Fair, and if that name doesn't scream lawsuit waiting to happen, just wait. The fair kicks off with all the hallmarks of your average roadside scam: rigged games, unsafe rides, and a total absence of anything resembling adult supervision. Seuss is manning the ride controls, which is like letting a golden retriever fly a plane. And what's Stan up to?
I got a job for you two. I printed up a bunch of fake safety inspection certificates. Go slap one on anything that looks like a lawsuit.
This is also the same episode where he proudly shows off one of the carnival's biggest rip-offs, the dunk tank. Only this one isn't rigged to dunk. It's rigged so no one ever wins. When the people from Gravity Falls try nailing the target, they just miss, repeatedly. And Stan gloats about it right in front of the crowd.
Grunkle Stan, is that legal?
When there's no cops around, anything's legal.
Honestly, I'm shocked that isn't carved into a plaque above the Mystery Shack's door.
Who wants a piece of me? Come back anytime, folks!
Translation: good luck wasting your cash, suckers. So how much money does Stan likely rake in here? Think about it. There's a full crowd, a dozen booths, overpriced snacks, rigged games, and at least a few gullible parents giving their kids allowance money to go wild. Even a conservative estimate, let's say 50 people spending an average of $20 each across games, food, and rides, lands us at around $1,000 in pure, greasy, untraceable Stan bucks. That's only this year. 30 years? Bang, $30,000. And what if he's dedicating totally to this stuff? Boom, $180,000. And what does Stan do with this money? Reinvent the shack? Pay the kids for their labor? Of course not. He likely funnels it right into his next half-legal scheme. There's a special place in the Scammer Hall of Fame for whoever first said, charge what you want, the tourists won't know any better. But Grunkle Stan, he didn't just take that advice, he made it his life's philosophy. In Boss Mabel, we get one of the clearest, most hilarious examples of just how far Stan's willing to go to squeeze money out of random strangers. Spoiler, it involves hiking prices tenfold, staging a fake sideshow attraction, and treating human dignity like a non-refundable item. It all kicks off when Stan finally lets Mabel run the Mystery Shack for a few days. Why? Because according to him, he needs a break from all this annoying yelling at employees. Classic Stan. So the next morning, the shack gets a full-on tour bus drop-off. Literal gold mines with legs in Stan's eyes. When Wendy reminds him they've got guests, he doesn't even blink before going full capitalist maniac.
Wendy, mark up those prices. The higher the better. Higher! Bleed them dry!
And the worst part is it'll totally work.
Yeesh, Grunkle Stan. It's like when you look at tourists, all you see are wallets with legs.
That's not true.
Maybe Stan should go visit a doctor, but it doesn't stop there. Just jacking up the price isn't enough. Stan also needs something flashy, something to convince the poor out-of-towners they're getting their money's worth. So what's his solution?
Boy. Oh, look at him! All that hair! His body's changing! Ah!
And surely illegal.
Grunkle Stan, this is demeaning.
What? I don't know. Demeaning of that word. Yeah!
This is one of the best jokes you'll ever listen. This isn't just a con, it's child exploitation with a snappy theme and souvenir keychains. And the tourists eat it up, while Stan's just gleefully rubbing his hands together. Let's break down the cash grab. Assuming even 4 to 5 tourists per tour group, and we clearly see a whole busload, at $200 a pop, that's $1,200 in one sitting. That's more than a decent day's profit for most legitimate small businesses. And all Stan had to do was compromise his nephew's self-esteem and dodge a few health codes. Just like the last time, he's been doing this for 30 years. 30 times 1,200 makes 36,000. And if Stan has been focused on scamming, that would be 6 times 36,000, which makes $216,000. To be fair, Mabel later tries to run the shack more ethically. She installs fair wages, breaks, even employee appreciation days. The result? The business crashes and burns. And Stan's smug little told-you-so moment becomes a victory lap for every greasy entrepreneur with a garage full of fake Bigfoot plushies. Moral of the story? In Gravity Falls, honesty is bad for business. And Stan, he's just here to get paid, whether or not anyone leaves happy. Some people close their shops at night to rest, recharge, and maybe sweep up the crumbs from whatever fell out of the cash register. Grunkle Stan? He flips the sign to open, cranks up the spooky vibes, and prepares to bleed every last dollar from anyone unfortunate enough to be lost on the road after sundown. Little Gift Shop of Horrors is basically Stan's Twilight Zone side hustle. And yes, it's just as sketchy as it sounds. The whole episode is a frame story, with Stan giving a special midnight tour of the Mystery Shack to some very tired, very confused travelers. Picture it. A group of strangers stranded in the middle of nowhere, desperate for shelter or a bathroom, and who do they run into? A grinning old man in a fez offering exclusive after-hours stories and limited edition artifacts. Yikes. He ushers them inside with a flashlight under his chin, leading them past all kinds of dubious items. And the guests? They're just too polite or too creeped out to object. Let's pause and appreciate the hustle. These people didn't even intend to visit the Mystery Shack. They were literally just passing through. Stan saw an opportunity, tired faces, wallets in reach, and no idea what town they were even in, and turned it into a one-man horror-themed QVC segment. That's not just salesmanship, that's predator-level awareness. Assuming there was about one tourist, dropping around $80 on spooky souvenirs and Stan's creepy lore. I really doubt only one tourist shows up to this, but let's keep it at that. Sadly, this tourist may not be coming back.
Here, have a free sample. Okay, I'll have something new for sale very soon.
Just like the last time. 30 times $80 makes $2,400, and 5 times that amount makes $14,400. So what's the grand total of Grunkle Stan's tourist-targeted scams over just one weird summer in Gravity Falls? Let's recap. Wax Museum smoke bomb heist, $54,000, Mystery Fair fleecing, $80,000, Tour Group Con, $216,000, Gift Shop of Horrors, $14,400. That gives us a conservative total of almost $465,000, earned through fake attractions and scams. And remember, that's just what we see on screen. That doesn't even include all the unrecorded cash grabs, souvenir scams, or whatever nightmare he's running through those mail-order Mystery Shack catalogs. But let's be honest, would we really want him any other way? Grunkle Stan may be a con man, a cheapskate, and an absolute menace to the Consumer Protection Agency. But dang it, he's our con man. And watching him hustle gullible tourists with dollar signs in his eyes, that's part of the magic of Gravity Falls. So, what did I miss? Did Stan pull off an even bigger scam I forgot to mention? Should I have counted the make-your-own taffy machine that just spat out lint and disappointment? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into tourist exploitation, and subscribe for more Gravity Falls breakdowns, theories, and Stan-related shenanigans.